It's
Nobody.
the shepherds, right? And the shepherds are an interesting choice too, because of course shepherds, there's a kinship between the shepherd and the prophet all the way through the Old Testament, and that imagery is replicated continually in the New Testament. And shepherds take care of the vulnerable. That's essentially what they do, and they do that independently and responsibly. And so even though they're lowly, they're not, because they're types of something much greater. And even though they are low on the socioeconomic totem pole, the fact that Christ's birth is announced to them is an indication of the universally salvific nature of his birth and mission, right? So that's all happening in those little
the
stories.
shepherds are also counter to city, because they're the opposite of civilization. They have these flocks, they move around, they don't stay in one place, they don't have agriculture, they don't have all the things, all the tropes of the city.
It's also an answer for the undeniable. In a way, it's the reversal of the cone, right? If a tree falls in a forest and no one's there to hear it, does it make a sound? If the Son of God is born in a manger and there's only shepherds around, is he still the Son of God? And the answer is yes.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Just 2
right.
points
Great
about,
things from lowly beginning.
just about Augustus and, as it were, the fragile or endangered state of the child. Augustus is also the emperor in this period of extraordinary stability for the Roman Empire. It's also a good time for Jesus to be born, because
Pax Romana.
Exactly. I think there's the tyrant element, the false deity, but also it's auspicious. And the second point about his vulnerability, but again, the emphasis on David, right? This is the Davidic house. It's in a manger. There's no room in the inn, but the emphasis again, this is the true successor of David.
I don't think Augustus is just the tyrannical. Augustus is the ending of a civilization-wide civil war, and I think there's an attempt to indicate something like a kairos happening here.
That's interesting, yeah.
Right? Right. Yeah. You've got. I'm not denying the tyranny of the Roman emperor, but Augustus. Many historians consider him maybe the greatest emperor, right? And
if God had to choose any period in history to leave his authenticating signature on the world in a way that would disseminate and distribute that message as quickly as possible, it's hard to pick a better time than
if you introduce it, it's almost like an enzyme. What's the state in which this action can be most fruitful? And in a time when everything's filled with sin, he sends the flood.